From Recorded Future News and PRX, this is Click Here. In late September, a white SUV with tinted windows rolled through San Diego. It was ICE, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, driving around in circles looking for people to arrest. And just a few car lengths behind that SUV was an activist on patrol.
Al tanto que tenemos presencia de ICE en Barrio Logan, San Diego, California.
It's perfectly legal to observe law enforcement, so long as you don't interfere. And when ICE started casting a shadow over Southern California's immigrant communities, activists began doing just that, watching the watchers.
Ocean View and 30th at this particular point, over. Así que cuidado, raza. Si...
Social media pages popped up. Signal groups multiplied. Coders built digital tools to track ICE's movements. And when the government cracked down on those apps, many of the watchers went back to basics. Walkie-talkies, word of mouth, and the kind of neighborhood watch that feels straight out of another era. From Recorded Future News and PRX, this is Click Here's Mic Drop, a longer listen to one of our favorite conversations of the week. I'm Dina Temple-Raston. On Tuesday, we brought you the story of IceBlock, an app that went viral before Apple took it down under pressure from the Trump administration. And while the administration says ICE is just going after the worst of the worst criminals, according to an analysis by the Marshall Project and others, the vast majority of people they're rounding up are asylum seekers, legal residents, and people with no prior convictions at all. Today, we continue that story with Francisco Chavo Romero, an activist in Southern California who's been on the front lines tracking ICE the old-fashioned way, through a hotline and neighborhood patrols.
As the call comes in, we try not to miss it. We actually pick up because it could be a matter of saving somebody from getting captured that day, right?
Francisco takes us inside a scrappy volunteer operation keeping tabs on ICE and explains what it's like to do that, knowing that feds could knock on your door at any moment, no matter how careful you might be to stay on the right side of the law. Stay with us. Support for Click Here comes from Clean My Mac. If you're like me, your cloud drives are packed with files you don't actually need. Sync duplicates, old backups, random junk just gobbling up storage. Clean My Mac takes care of that with a new cloud cleanup feature. It connects to your accounts on iCloud, OneDrive, and Google Drive and scans to find large space wasters, both in cloud storage and on your device. And while my Mac health is apparently excellent, Clean My Mac found 8 gigabytes of junk on my computer and tons of duplicate downloads. And it removed a bunch of leftover applications I never use. Who knew? And this happens locally on my Mac, so my data stays safe. Clean My Mac has a whole suite of other features, too, including their Moonlight anti-malware engine. With just a click, the anti-malware tool scans and removes viruses, ensuring your Mac remains threat-free. Not everything deserves eternal storage, so why pay for it? Get tidy today with Clean My Mac. Try it free for 7 days and use the promo code CLICK to save an additional 20% on your purchase at cleanmymac.com.
Support comes from Dakota State University. What happens when you unite dynamic minds with one revolutionary vision? A rising force on the cutting edge of everything. From a little university on the prairie to a cyber powerhouse of the plains, we're proving the nation's best cyber can come from where you least expect it. Now, we're molding the future of cyber, AI, and quantum computing one graduate at a time. See what Dakota State University is building next at dsucyber27.com.
I'm Dina Temple-Raston, and this is Click Here's Mic Drop. The Romeros came from Mexico in the 1970s. Francisco was born on the U.S. side.
I consider myself a Chicano Mexicano with U.S. citizenship.
That status provides both a shield and, he says, a responsibility.
Having that citizenship, it is my duty to take it to the next level where people can't. We get people that come up to us and they say, hey, thank you so much for what you're doing for us, right? I wish I could go out there, but I don't have papers. I'm so sorry, but I really appreciate you. Thank you for stepping in and taking those risks.
The risk is real.
Tonight, an immigration crackdown in New York City as federal agents descended on Canal Street.
We're following a massive ICE raid at a Hyundai plant in Georgia. Officials say roughly...
But what I want you to explain tonight is what are the orders of the men and women who are on these raids? What are they supposed to do?
Well, they're enforcing immigration laws as enacted by Congress. They're upholding the oath they took to enforce those laws. They're not making this up.
ICE has been sweeping up citizens and people with legal status in these widespread raids. President Trump has authorized military tactics, even suggested that so-called liberal cities like Los Angeles and Chicago should serve as training grounds for the military.
It's a brutal spectacle, really designed to utilize actually the media to really showcase the terror, right? And try to instill that into the bones of the people that are out here.
Francisco's group is called Union del Barrio. They're awake at the crack of dawn, scanning tips from a vast network of Southern California residents, a kind of citizen-run early warning system. They don't hide from the feds. They actually go looking for them.
We go super early in the morning, usually between 5 a.m. to 8 a.m., and we look for what we call the staging of the operations before they launch. Like when they're surveilling, when they're kind of planning, right the day of, when they're about to make their move. We've disseminated so much information in flyers and through our social media platforms, the information on what to look for, that people are calling us. The people themselves, they're getting ready to go to work. They see something. Hey, there's multiple vehicles at the park down the street. They look suspicious. Can you guys come? They either message us on the social media or they call us directly to our hotline.
Once they spot federal agents, they follow.
La 31 y la Franklin estaba parado este vehículo. Así que cuidado, raza.
They track until the raid begins or until agents leave empty-handed. They share their intel with people in the neighborhood, sometimes even interact with the ICE officers.
We'll say things to them as well. I mean, I go up to their windows, I knock on their window, I say, hey, how you doing, officer? What agency are you? They're like, whoa, who are you, right? But in every training that we do, we say, don't give them the reason for them to have you arrested.
As long as they're just observing and not interfering, it's completely lawful. And Francisco insists, constitutionally protected.
Really, all it is a community getting organized, walking or in bikes, but mainly in our vehicles. We sort of map out the neighborhoods that we're going to commit to. You need 1 to 2 vehicles per community area, minimum, 2 to 3 people per car. We have two-way radios that we use, and we have literature. And so the literature sort of gives the explanation of what we're doing, patrolling, but also what to look out for.
They're documenting ICE activity, and in certain situations, they'll protest.
We reserve the right to protest, so if you're coming down, we're going to be here, right? So we're organized block by block, neighborhood by neighborhood. We have a long way to go, but that's what we're doing, and essentially that's really what's going to save us, I think.
When we come back, Francisco on paranoia, drones, and the fine line between vigilance and fear. Stay with us. Support for Click Here comes from Claude AI. Claude is the AI for minds that don't stop at good enough. It's the collaborator that actually understands your entire workflow and thinks with you, not for you. Whether you're debugging code at midnight or strategizing your next business move, Claude extends your thinking to tackle the problems that matter. Why settle for a basic search when you can have a real conversation with Claude? Claude doesn't just fetch results. It helps you think and brainstorm and summarize and draft and even explain. Whether you're untangling a tricky article, preparing interview questions, or polishing up a memo, Claude can help. Ready to tackle bigger problems? Sign up for Claude today and get 50% off Claude Pro when you use this link. Claude.ai/click here. That's Claude.ai/click here. Right now for 50% off your first 3 months of Claude Pro. And that includes access to all of the features mentioned in today's episode. Claude.ai/click here.
Every day, it's getting harder to tell what's real and what's not.
Alex reassured me that he was a fully licensed and certified psychologist. But in fact, Alex is not a person, but it is an unfeeling chatbot.
I'm Dexter Thomas, and every week on my podcast, Kill Switch, we look at the right now of living in the future to help you take back control of your life. Listen to Kill Switch in the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Union Del Barrio's patrols didn't start with Trump. They actually date back to the Obama years, and even before.
Rest assured that detentions and deportations have been occurring nearly at the same levels under Biden, under Obama, right? Under Trump 1, right? Under Bush, right? Like we're going back under Clinton. But what occurred is that during the Obama era or even under Bush, the approach was more traditional in the sense that it was more focused on like folks that were already captured and in jail. We call it the velvet glove or the iron fist, right? So right now we're dealing with mano dura in Spanish. That's the iron fist approach, where it's just openly just brutal. The tactics, it's really militarized visually, but also in the way they actually roll out their operations, even calling everything an operation, right?
Big developing story today. It's a new operation by federal agents beginning here in the Chicago area.
ICE recently conducted a raid in Chicago called Operation Midway Blitz. Among other things, agents rappelled down from Black Hawk helicopters to raid an apartment complex in the city's South Shore neighborhood.
In the dark and early 5 o'clock hour, neighbors who live near Chippewa Drive heard helicopters flying above and saw a flurry of armored vehicles blocking their streets.
Did it surprise you that it became so militarized so fast, or did you kind of know that was going to happen?
Well, we were preparing for the worst. And so we were not surprised. So for 3 weeks, we did trainings and got hundreds and hundreds of people organized and ready. And so we were not caught off guard. We thought we were prepared as best as we could with the humble means that we have at our disposal.
But defiance comes with risk because while they're watching ICE, ICE may be watching them. So you're tracking ICE. How do you make sure that you aren't being tracked by them?
Well, the way we operate is under the assumption that we're being monitored at all times, period. Like, that's just the way it is. Everything we do is being scrutinized. And if we walk around with being afraid and paranoid, then the reign of terror has worked. So we are not afraid. We're organized. We're ensuring that we're doing everything within the markers of what is legal, right? And constitutionally protected. Again,
he says drones pass overhead, unmarked cars idle in their neighborhoods.
And we also know that there may be a time where they're going to try to bulk us all into these categories, right? Domestic terrorists, enemy combatants. Like, they're going to start using war terminology to pin us to, hey, they're Mexicans. They migrated from Sinaloa. They're probably tied to the narco cartels, right? They're going to try to pin those labels on us.
And in fact, Union del Barrio and other advocacy organizations objecting to the ICE raids have received a letter from Senator Josh Hawley threatening to investigate whether they were bankrolling civil unrest.
And there may be one day where they're going to come banging on our doors and going to take us in. I personally, and all our members, we are preparing mentally, physically, spiritually to be ready to be behind bars at one point. And if it means that we're going to be captured and taken to jail, then, I'll write a book while I'm in there. I'll organize inside the prison if that's the case. So, in other words, we know that what we're doing is righteous, right? We're on the right side of history.
From Recorded Future News, this has been Click Here's Mic Drop. It was written and produced by Megan Dietrich, Sean Powers, Erica Gaida, Zach Hirsch, Lucas Riley, and me, Dina Temple-Rest. It was edited by Karen Duffin. We'll be back on Tuesday with an all-new episode of Click Here. Have a great weekend.
If you're looking for a daily guide to cybersecurity news and policy, sign up for the Cyber Daily from Recorded Future News. It serves up the day's most interesting and important cyber stories from our sister publication, The Record, and then aggregates all of the big cyber stories you might have missed from news outlets around the world. Just go to therecord.media and click on Cyber Daily to get all you need to know about the world of cybersecurity right in your inbox.